What's going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, hopefully you have tested negative. If you did test positive for COVID, flu, or any other virus, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long COVID issues and no long-term issues. It is time now for the Wednesday edition of the Virus Update for Wednesday, October 30th, 2024. That's right. It is one day before Halloween, and I can tell you, these viruses do have some tricks up their sleeves. In fact, we're doing an unexpected out in the wild update today. I know. I was not planning on this. Matter of fact, just this morning, I had some things on my screen ready to go for a data-filled update, but, things do happen, and we are out here in the wild today because, I'll explain to you why. Because my parents went away for a couple days, and they, went away to see the leaves, and well, guess what happened? Turns out back on Monday, I guess it was, my dad started having a sore throat, and now he's not feeling well, he's feeling sick. He went to bed when they came home this afternoon. Now, mind you, I will tell you, I am masking at home once again. I have the air purifiers running, and I do have the windows open. Considering he went to bed, my office is next door to his room, but he needs his quiet so he can sleep, right? So here we are. We're going to do an out in the wild update instead today. If you're new to my channel, this is not usually where we do out in the wild updates, or where we do updates. Sometimes we do out in the wild updates, but usually it is data filled at my screen at home. So have no fear. We will eventually get back to those data filled updates, maybe even as soon as tomorrow. All right. So if you're new, subscribe down below, give this a thumbs up, hit that notification bell, share this video with anyone you know, and leave your comments down below. I'm sure there'll be some comments on any of these topics we're going to talk about today. First off, today is Wednesday. Yesterday was Tuesday. Philadelphia had 797 EMS incidents. That is lower than 800. That is a number I'm happy with. I can tell you, this afternoon, driving around for like the last half hour, well, this is actually our third time trying to do this update, and a long story within itself. We tried another place, and for some reason, the cemetery, I went to visit my grandparents at the cemetery. For some reason, the day before Halloween is a big deal at cemeteries. The point I'm trying to drive across is I have heard several ambulances here in Montgomery County this afternoon. Concerning about that because, well, it's not good to see more ambulances, but earlier today when I was looking at CAD, there were up to 20 plus calls. So, yeah, it's starting to get busy once again. And there's evidence of it now in Wastewater. Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, and Montgomery County, Pennsylvania are showing an increase for COVID at 2 wastewater sites. Now, for the rest of the update, this was the update that was supposed to come in yesterday. For the rest of the update, it shows very few sites across the state of PA are still dropping. Most are stable at this time. And I looked at a few charts. Remember, when we take a look at those colors, when I show it to you on my computer, you see red, which is large increase, and then you see orange. We're not seeing red. We are seeing orange. We're seeing the yellow color, and we're seeing some of the blue color, but not much. When I take a look at the charts, I'm starting to see more sites rise. And those colors represent the 15-day trend. So the shorter trend, say like 7 days, it's starting to rise. So I think we're going to see more sites starting to join the party soon, meaning COVID may be starting to increase once again here in my state of Pennsylvania. Across the Delaware River we go. Into New Jersey, 68 out of 70 hospitals reported with 206 hospitalizations. New York State reports 388 new cases today. Again, that number is not really dropping anymore. It's flat. It's not rising yet. Not rising much yet, but it is really just flattened off right now. Hospitalizations, 582. In the ICU, 63. Again, those numbers aren't dropping much at all. It's leveling off and probably will start to rise once again soon. All right, we've been talking about a lot of musicians, entertainers, celebrities in general, sports players, all dealing with illness lately. And it seems to be almost every day, sometimes multiple cases a day. Well, here we go yet again. This time, the band Coldplay. Coldplay, they're a huge band. They have, millions and millions of fans. I'm a fan of them. Coldplay first ever show without Guy Berryman after bassist taken ill unexpectedly before a gig in Melbourne. Doesn't say what it is, but it is at this time a illness. So could it be COVID? Could it not be COVID? I don't know. And I will tell you about this. I mentioned there's illness at home. Dad came back sick and all. He did take a COVID test this afternoon. I actually went out to CVS. This is long story short. I actually went out to CVS to pick up testing because I don't trust those government-issued tests. The ones that we were given, I really don't trust them. So I went to CVS and I happened to notice they had the combo test. Remember, if you were around on my channel, back in the summertime, we talked about those combination tests that were now being approved in the United States by the FDA. It could show COVID, flu A, and flu B. This one did not have RSV listed, but it had 3 different things on it. He was negative for that, but when I was in CVS, I took notes. This was 11:30 in the morning. The humongous line in the pharmacy. And mind you, I live in one of the most populated zip codes in the state of Pennsylvania, and I gotta tell you, the line was long, like 20 to 25 people in line at the pharmacy. Now, we have had some neighboring CVS's closed, various different reasons, retail theft being one of the reasons, but wow, it never used to be like that before COVID, and 10 years ago, I worked at a Rite Aid. Trust me, our lines never got that long. Once in a rare while, we would get a line going, but back in the pharmacy, no, it would not get that long. All right, moving on. In the UK now, we do have a virus that has a trick up its sleeve. What's that trick? Well, it's the first ever case of Mpox. And you're thinking, wait, first ever case? Well, yes, of the new strain of Mpox. Yeah, it's now being detected in the UK. A single case of Mpox, formerly known as monkeypox, linked to the recent outbreak in parts of Africa, has been detected in the UK. It is part of the Clade 1b outbreak, which appears to spread more easily between people. So, Clade 1b, it has now shown up for the first time in the UK, and I suspect we'll see it in more countries relatively soon. All right, another virus that has a trick up its sleeve, bird flu. Yeah, this is not good. Bird flu has now been found in a pig in the United States for the first time, raising concerns about potential risks to humans. I mean, the more animals we see disappear in, it shows me, at least to me, it's telling me this virus is getting smarter. Now, we don't know of human-to-human transmission yet. We do have some unexplained transmission where humans did not have contact with farm animals and they got sick. But, yeah, it's starting to get more interesting by the week. I mean, this is really rapidly evolving. We're finding out so many new things about this virus quite frequently, and I'm not liking that. All right, moving on. Some data now from CJS 83172, and that is just a few states that he gave us yesterday. Florida reported 345 new cases and 1 new death in their daily update. New Jersey reports 286 new cases and 4 new deaths in their weekday update. New York, 387 new cases in their daily update. Maryland, 524 new cases, an increase of nearly 30% over last week's 404, and 10 deaths. Maine added 139 new cases and another 8 deaths. Michigan, now this is a really big number, but there's a little bit of an explanation, but here we go. Michigan, 4,207 new cases, likely partly derived from a case dump of some kind, and 34 new deaths, all since the second week of September. Even if that's a case dump. So say you take half of that away. That means your next wave, which is coming soon, you're starting off at a really high level. Not a good thing in Michigan. Virginia, 1,723 new positive tests and 28 new deaths, all of which were between the weeks of September 15th and the 21st and October 6th and the 12th. So, yeah, we're starting to see the turning of the tide. Things are starting to move over to rising cases. Alrighty, a couple more things I want to bring to your attention. First off, tomorrow is Halloween. Now, I've mentioned this before. Halloween likely will be a spreader. If you have kids, please do Halloween safely. If you see a house that has a long line, maybe skip over that house and go to another house. Trust me, there'll be a lot of people giving out candy, and, well, too much candy is not good for anyone anyhow. It can give you cavities and whatever. I once had an uncle, well, I still do have an uncle, that once said, Let the kids eat all the candy they want on Halloween, but the next day, take it away. It's not a bad idea. I mean, he is a dentist, so he knows what he's talking about when it comes to teeth. The other thing we need to talk about, and I really don't like to get political on this channel, but sometimes when you're talking about health-related topics and viruses, and as we all know, the COVID pandemic, for all the wrong reasons, did get political, and it was just another disaster. But sometimes we do need to talk about politics. Of course, here in the United States, it's a pretty big deal. It's the election next Tuesday. Already, I'm seeing numbers of 50 million people have already early voted. And maybe I should have touched on this sooner. It's my apologies that I didn't. Some people did in the comments. If you're going out to early vote, or if you're going out to vote on election day, please be careful. And do me a favor. Don't have any shame in wearing a mask. If you're afraid to wear a mask because they may pin you as voting for a certain candidate, don't pay any attention to that. They shouldn't be doing that. Oh, he's wearing a mask. We already know who you're voting for. Please, if you see that happen, just ignore them. You're trying to keep yourself safe. Doesn't matter who you're voting for. If you're voting on either side and you're wearing a mask, you're doing yourself a favor trying to keep yourself safe. Now, I can't really tell you how to vote. That's your business. But there is one thing I want to say. And again, like I said, I hate getting political. Think of healthcare. Now, I don't think either side we're actually going to see Obamacare go poof, but there's talk that it could if a certain someone wins. Think about voting to keep healthcare, because let me tell you something. I get injections every month from for Exolar for asthma, which, hey, I never had before COVID. If I didn't have Obamacare, which I do pay X amount a month, if I lose that and lost that, you know what those injections would cost me each month? I would have to stop them because it would cost $7,500 a month. Think about that. There's a lot of people. I'm an independent contractor when it comes to work. I work for a bunch of gig apps. Think about it. There's a lot of independent contractors that don't work for a big corporation that provides them health care, and they have to use Obamacare, or there's disabled people on Obamacare, or whatever the case may be. Please think of health care. We cannot afford to have health care taken away here in the United States. Please think about that. Alrighty? And, of course, the most important thing on election day is if you're going out to vote, and it's really crowded, because I know there are some counties where election places, like everyone goes to a school or this or that, and it's hundreds, if not thousands of people got to go to that location. The lines can get long. Please stay safe, and please do not be afraid to wear a mask on election day. Please. Okay? Alrighty, folks, that does it for the Wednesday edition of the I almost said pandemic update. We call these virus updates now. COVID most definitely is still a pandemic. We're about to witness another wave of COVID, and we're about to witness another wave of all the other viruses, which means virus update, because these viruses are constantly evolving. Mpox, you just got news on that today. H5N1, now being found in a pig. Virus update. I mean, there's so many different viruses now doing things that we never thought would happen. So, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, hit that notification bell, share this video with anyone you know, and of course, leave your comments down below. I will see you all again next time, hopefully safely again next time. Just to be safe, I'll be taking a COVID test tomorrow morning. I'll let you know what happens, and I will see you then. Hopefully it'll be a data-filled update tomorrow. Hopefully we can get back to normal. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and stay safe, everyone.